kubectl apply is the command you use when a file describes what you want Kubernetes to run and you want the cluster to move toward that state. Think of apply as declarative management. You keep a file, change the file when desired state changes, and apply it again. A Kubernetes manifest usually has AP version, kind, metadata, and spec. Those fields tell the API server what object you mean and what state you want. For example, deployment.yaml describes a deployment. The terminal command points to that file. The YAML itself is not terminal output. kubectl reads the file, builds an API request, and sends it to the Kubernetes API server. The API server validates and stores the desired object. If the object does not exist, apply can create it. If it already exists, apply calculates a change and updates the stored object. Modern apply has the idea of field management. Kubernetes can track which manager owns which fields, helping it merge declarative changes more safely. A useful property is repeatability. If the file and cluster already match, applying again should usually say unchanged. Before changing production, kubectl diff can show the difference between the file and the live object. That gives you a review step. Dry run is another useful habit. It lets the API server validate the request without persisting the change. For namespaced objects, the target namespace still matters. It can come from metadata.namespace, the current context, or the namespace flag. Do not assume apply automatically deletes every object missing from a folder. Pruning is a separate, explicit workflow and should be used carefully. If required fields are wrong, the API server rejects the request. That is good. The cluster should not accept an object it cannot understand. The bigger workflow is keeping manifest in source control. The file history explains why the cluster changed, not just what command someone typed. The mental model, the file declares intent, apply sends it to the API server, and Kubernetes controllers work to make reality match that desired state.